So, to give you guys a little insight into the inner workings of podcasting, first of all, it's the hardest job on planet Earth. So it's not being a mom.
We had to walk to our living room this morning.
Being a mom is third.
It's actually fourth. It fell.
No, it goes podcaster, coal miners, and then moms.
No, but the new study. Did you read the new study that shows that it recently fell?
Oh, really? Is it 4 now? What's 3 now?
I skipped over that part, but it fell in the rankings. I just wanted to scroll and see where mom went because I was hoping that it would fall.
Is it TikTokers? Are TikTokers 3 now?
Yeah. TikTokers are number 3.
And it's hard because, now they're losing their platform.
Well, no. I mean, they got it back, so.
I'm wearing a fun little hat.
It's my hat.
She doesn't like it when I wear it like this, but I actually think this is the best way to wear it.
It's not how it's supposed to be worn. It's wrong that way.
Oh, man. So, yeah. Last time we checked in, we were watching Big Brother. And we were watching some of the latest, or not latest, but we're going kind of in chronological order, reverse chronological order, going through some of the seasons. So we just watched Jag season. That was a lot of fun. And then after Jag season, we were like, we're bored. We're bored. We've seen all this shit before.
So now we're watching Traitors.
Traitors.
Because it's airing and it's good. And if you've been living under a rock,
players,
move out from your rock and start watching it.
Today
now.
you have the chance to win $20,000. So yes, fuck Big Brother. Not really. I love you, Big Brother.
We'll get back to that eventually someday.
We've moved on to the last step of the pipeline. Okay, so everyone knows it goes Survivor / Big Brother, then it goes Traitors
/ also Challenge /
any
Bravo show.
But Traitors really is cinema.
Yeah,
it is probably one of the most well-produced, cinematic, dramatic game shows I've ever seen, and it's definitely my favorite game show, at least for right now.
Oh,
what?
When that happens, I had a sneeze and it never came. So I was just sitting here making this stupid face, and then it didn't happen, and you have to leave that in because I look stupid.
Oh, by the way, Happy New Year! What did you eat this New Year? What was the first thing you ate?
I was really fucked up, so I didn't eat anything. But this morning, and this is the first meal I've had since the new year.
It's February 2nd, by the way.
I've had a croissant this morning.
What?
A croissant.
You mean croissant? It's croissant.
Sorry, I'm not good with words.
It's croissant. Everybody at home, it's croissant.
I'm always messing up words.
It's okay, man. It's okay. But we're happy to be back, man. 2025. Year of our Lord.
I feel like we should know, we have been trying to film this episode.
Yeah.
We have been trying to film a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was getting into. The inner workings of being a podcaster. Sometimes life doesn't let you have your way.
This happens to us a lot. I feel like we're constantly we try to do this.
We have a lot of technical issues, It's because we're working off, my MacBook is one of the first MacBooks ever made.
Yeah,
actually, it's one of the
Steve Jobs touched it. That's how fucking old it is.
It's not even a MacBook. It's one of those, you remember back in elementary school when you had those see-through weird orange Macs?
No, what about the really cool white ones? I like those.
I'm older than you, so I had the see-through orange ones.
Wow. I wish I had one of those. But I remember in elementary school, we all had the white ones.
Yeah.
And we would play math games. We used to play this game that every time you got a question right, they would donate 1 grain of rice to a starving child.
Wow. So it's fed 2 children by now?
It's not even fed a full children.
It's not fed a full children. It's not fed a full children.
Yeah, I meant what I said. I said what I meant.
Do you guys remember back in your public libraries back in the day, the librarians would have this mouse that doesn't move, and she moves the mouse with this big red ball in the middle?
Yeah.
Do you actually remember that?
I liked figuring out how to get the ball out and then eating it. like not really eating it, but just like swishing it around my mouth. Huh? Well, you didn't do that? Nobody else did that? Is that just something we did?
How many did you fit in your mouth?
Take a guess.
Well, you have a horrible gag reflex, so probably 0.
I actually fit 17.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You broke 17 mice?
Yeah.
Mouses?
Yeah.
Mouse.
Yeah. And then I blamed it on like some kid, and they were like, "How dare you?" I got away with it.
Now
I
that
still
kid
do
is
it.
dead.
I still do it to this day because I know I can get away with it.
You gargle the mouse balls?
Yeah, where do you think your fucking mouse ball went? One from the bottom of your mouse. I fucking ate that shit. Nom, 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 nom.
I don't even know where I am anymore. Who am I?
I don't know how we got here. This took a weird turn.
Anyway, yeah. Happy New Year. We're back. And we'll be providing you with some Traitors coverage now. We're covering Traitors.
I don't know if we want to like mention this before we get into it, if this is relevant, but we might never go back to Big Brother on here because we hit our peak already. Okay, Jag commented on our Instagram, and so it can't get better than that. And so there's no more Big Brother on this.
Dude, I know. That was super tight. Jag Baines legitimately followed us. He is one of 28 followers. What a nice guy to see a fucking YouTube with 27 followers and be like, I want to be 28.
I don't even think we've broken 20 on our Instagram. I think he's like number 17, and I love him. It's just him and my grandma. Like, my grandma's always like, who are these people? They're so sexy, and that girl's eyebrows are good, and they're funny. And then Jag, like, I've never expected anybody to rate my turbans. I'm sat. Shout out to that man.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jag, man. I mean, we had a lot of good things to say about him.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't release 10 things we hate about Jag video that we made.
Yeah, don't release that one. Then he'll unfollow us.
What's number 1 again? Do 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 do. Wow. Anyway, welcome back to the Sooki Sooki, the world's own. By the way, she was kidding about Big Brother. We still love Big Brother. We're gonna be covering Big Brother at some point.
What? No, yeah, we'll get back there.
Yeah. But anyway, welcome back to Sooki Sooki, the world's first Big Brother and Traitors sports podcast.
Yeah.
So we're gonna briefly just run through what's going on this season in Traitors. You know the drill by now. You know we're just gonna yap. It's major yappage happening today.
Yappage. Yeah, this is the yappage corner.
Yappage hour.
Welcome to yappage hour. Yeah, if you've been living under a rock, then you don't know Traitors, and join the rest of the world.
Of course, we're not disparaging you for not having the same interests as us.
No. If you're not watching Traitors, like,
we would never judge anybody.
You should. No, I'm judging you.
We would never judge anybody.
I think if you're not watching Traitors, you should leave the country and you should change your name and identity. Because I will find you.
I feel like this is kind of like
this
is a good analog for the Democratic and Republican parties. It's just one person being like, you can do whatever you want, and the other person digging in more and more and more and more. You know.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about that here.
Okay.
Because I will spiral.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're not watching Traitors, get a life. Like, what could you be doing that's better? This is true. Like, the last episode that we watched, you literally said, this is the greatest episode of television I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I meant it, and I still mean it, because, like, as I've gotten older, I think I appreciate reality TV and game shows a lot more because they don't have to feign human emotion. You're seeing, and especially Traitors, you see a lot of emotion in Big Brother, but Traitors brings it to a whole nother level. There's paranoia, there's suspicion, friends turn on each other, friends backstab each other,
friends murder each other.
Yeah. Tom Sandoval's sweating.
He won't stop sweating and eating.
Show me one actor who can sweat on cue. You can't.
I feel like he just probably is always like that, right?
I know. I'm not saying he's acting. I'm saying, like, that's real. That's real sweat.
Yeah, the level of, like, emotion that you get on Traitors, like, Oppenheimer could never.
Yeah, literally.
Literally could never.
So, to, jump us off, first of all, I think this is the best season of Traitors so far. I know that there's only been 3 seasons, but this one has just been, like, every episode has been a dramatic episode.
Every episode is better than the last because every episode we've watched, we're like, that is the greatest episode ever.
Yeah, dude.
And then a new episode comes out and like...
Turns out when you put a lot of people that are beloved from their respective reality shows... Or hated. Even better if they're hated, actually. On a reality show where mistrust and suspicion is brewed, you're going to get some good shit.
There's some fucking good shit happening.
Oh, yeah. And before we get started into the show, I just want to say Stassi... What's her last name?
Schroeder.
Stassi Schroeder. Is that...
Stassi Schroeder Clark.
Stassi Schroeder Clark. Mrs. Schroeder Clark. You have to go on Traitors.
Yeah, you and your daughter Hartford, actually, both of you.
You know when I started falling in love with Stassi was when she went, everyone who knows me knows that I love murder.
Yeah, no, iconic. I don't know how she's not on this show yet. I know, like, she seems like she's, you know, she's in her mom era. She's only doing things that make sense for her life and are convenient for her. But this is the perfect time for her to go. And she's getting a new show on Hulu, so maybe... It could be in the future because I feel like she's not relevant enough like the rest of these people that are on this show.
Yeah.
So I think maybe once her show comes out, the opportunity is there. Alan Cumming, if you don't call her, I'm coming to your bar in New York, find you.
And I'm going to order a drink, and then I'm going to get your autograph.
Yeah, I'm going to get your autograph. And then I'm going to be like, get Stassi. I'll whisper it as I walk. I'll be like, get.
That could be a fun game we could play, like who should go on Traitors.
Yeah.
We could do that. We could do that at some point.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Shit.
So let me, do you want to tell us what's going on?
I just want to say something I thought about is, and then we'll get into it. Somebody on TikTok was like, oh my God, like finally Traitors is getting good. Like the first episodes were so slow. And I was just like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is your bar for entertainment that you think every episode has been insane?
Dude, some people's bar for entertainment is so fragged.
It's just not realistic. Whoever you are, I don't remember the TikTok user, but you're wrong.
It's like I read this story about like a 13-year-old who jerk off like 28 times a day. I'm like, how do you even come at that point?
I feel like you'd hurt your penis.
He probably does hurt his penis, but like 28 times a day, by the third time, I'm shooting out like puffs of dust.
He can't even... Yeah, I mean, and it's made that noise.
Yeah. And then she has to get out the feather duster, you know.
Yeah, it's really... I have to get out like one of those brushes that you use
We
to
are
clean.
dating, by the way. I don't just...
You have to
I'm
get...
not harassing her.
You have to get one of those straws that you use to like clean out... you have to get one of those brushes. Fuck. You have to use one of those brushes that you use to clean out straws, like the little skinny... Anyways.
Live
Traitors.
television, ladies and germs. So yes, shall I intro us into the season?
Yeah.
So we get into the new season of Traitors, and a theme throughout the entire show has really just been putting reality stars who have a history together into the same castle. And this season they really kicked it up into fifth gear because the first people that we see are
Danielle and Brittany, and they're fresh off of Reindeer Games, which we did try to watch, and then it's not the vibe for us, so we couldn't keep watching it. But something happened where Brittany had to get rid of Danielle. There's some beef there. They're showing people like driving in vans up to the castle, and somebody's like, Danielle, who do you not want to see? And she's like, Brittany. And then they immediately cut to Brittany, and they're like, who do you not want to see? And she's like, Danielle, I screwed her over.
Stop. Stop being weird. He was licking the couch. Sorry.
He likes the taste of vegan leather.
Yeah, he does, I guess. Yeah, so, you know, they're already setting us up for a little bit of drama that's going to occur. And there's a lot of big characters right off the bat. You know, we see Danielle. It seems like she's going to be one of the main characters. Then we see...
Nice. Feel better?
Yeah.
I feel like that fixed everything.
And then we see Carolyn of Survivor fame.
Yeah.
Who's, you know, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to put a picture of her somewhere. I never know which way I'm going to use, but one of these three directions, her face is... Surprise! That's her.
Yeah.
She's a cool lady, and she's very tatted up, and right off the bat she's giving off like a, like, oh, I'm kind of weird. I'm kind
of weird.
Yeah.
I'm kind of weird and different. I've always been the outcast, queen of the misfits.
Yeah. What did you say her voice was a combination of?
It's a combination of Cher, Jennifer Coolidge, and a parakeet.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Those are the secret ingredients to Carolyn.
Yeah.
And a little bit of Big Bird. If
Yeah.
to enter my horse into the race.
That's correct.
Speaking of horse and races, we're going to be doing a pony race later, but with less people, obviously, because we're already. So, added context, we're like 5 episodes in. We're very late into start covering this, but we're going to cover all of it.
I put all the people on the wheel, so.
That's fine.
Okay.
Hopefully, we don't bust out. So yes, we're introduced to these big characters, like I was saying, Carolyn and Jeremy, who's also from Survivor, and Tony and Bob the drag queen, Bob TDQ.
Bob TDQ, Bob the Dairy Queen.
Yeah, Bob the Dairy Queen. Is he from Drag Race?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So he's of Drag Race fame, and immediately I'm like, I'm gonna like this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's just so snappy, and he doesn't fucking mince words, He's a tough gay.
He's a big personality.
Yeah. And they're all ushered to the front of the castle, and Alan appears, and we know when Alan appears, nothing good happens.
Nothing good ever happens when Alan shows up.
Nothing good happens when Cummings there.
Everybody just looks better.
No one likes when
fits.
Cumming. No one likes Cumming.
No. Coming is coming. Ooh.
So he's over there. He's like, players, I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah. He's like, we're going to change things up a bit. It's going to get weird. I can't do it right now. I can only do the accent.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I can only do the accent if I'm
It's very
listening.
faint.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that we're learning the Scottish accent. So we've been trying to like mimic him to learn the Scottish accent. We're just gonna end up sounding like fucking Scottish queens.
Is that not the dream?
I mean, yeah, I guess it is.
It's my dream.
We go to Scotland. Everyone's like, their accent is so good, but I think both of them are gay. Anyway,
Did they learn their accent from Alan Cumming? Do I hear a little Alan Cumming?
Why are they calling everybody traitors?
And players. They keep bringing up
Traitors!
$20,000.
I would like the haggis.
$20,000.
Oh, I've missed this.
That's really good. That part's always hard for me. You do it really well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of a queen. Yeah.
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 You are on the inside.
So Alan shows up, and he's like, I have a choice to offer you guys. And then this guy in a hood walks up, and, oh, scary, who's it going to be?
Wait, before we get into that, I feel like it's so nice being in on a show this early because every season we see how they're trying to step it up. And, like, immediately, like, we haven't even fucking entered the castle yet and, like, set down their They haven't set down their bags. They haven't entered. We don't know who the traitors are. And Alan's ready to fuck shit up.
Yeah, and I think it's such a good twist because the choice that he offers is the guy takes off his hood. It's Boston Rob of Survivor fame. Now, to give you guys a little bit of background, Boston Rob has been the same guy since he was born. Yeah. We watched his second season of Survivor. He's exactly the same guy.
We actually found birth video of him, and he came out of the womb with a backwards hat on.
And his mom was crying, and he was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. So he's a very like rock steady, decisive, ruthless player in Survivor, And not to say he's a bad guy, he's just very, very cutthroat.
He literally, like, you just can't. He can't, like, if he's in the room, somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to get caught in a lie. Somebody's going to go by.
He's awesome, dude. He's one of the coolest game show contestants I've ever seen.
And he's hot.
Yeah, he's a handsome old man. And he, like, immediately, he just has this aura about him where it's like the backwards baseball cap and the blazer. This is clearly a guy who doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks about him, because he looks fucking stupid.
He looks so good without the hat. Like, Just
Is that a slight
take
at
it
me?
off. Oh my god, is that a new ceiling?
So he shows up, and Alan gives the players the choice. They can welcome Rob into the castle amongst them as a player, and if they do that, they get to get rid of one person. And obviously, this is a huge incentive, considering that there's so many people with bad blood in the house.
Yeah, there's like it's cutting to all the people who are being paranoid. Carolyn's literally in the corner like this. What am I gonna do? I don't know. It's too soon to make that
I
many
could get rid of Tony.
I could get rid of Tony.
Why would I not get rid of Tony?
Yeah, I don't know. It's too early to do this, but I might do it.
Yeah, so several of the players are tempted. Obviously, Brittany, Danielle, Carolyn, they're all tossing around in their heads. But ultimately, no one takes the choice. No one shakes Alan's hand.
Because they don't want to fucking let Boston Rob in.
And also, it's just too early to make waves, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's too soon to make enemies. It gives people a reason to be like, I want to banish you because you did this shit. Or to get murdered. It's a good reason to get murdered, you know?
And specifically because the first few weeks, everyone is kind of starting from square one. You know, no one really has any reason to suspect anybody else. No one has any reason to murder anybody else. Mm-hmm. It just makes it so that if you do this, you're giving everybody a reason to oust you.
Yeah.
You know? So ultimately no one takes it. But wait! There's a twist!
Ah!
First of all, let's talk about who gets picked to be traitors.
Yes. We get 3 people right off the bat. Alan kind of sits everybody down one by one and is like interviewing them. And Caroline's like, I literally slept in a cloak. You have to pick me. And Danielle's like, you have to pick me because I'm going to be good and I'm not going to disappoint anybody with any bad acting.
Yeah, I'm totally not going to do everything wrong.
And then Tom is just like, please don't pick me. I want to be faithful. Please don't pick me. I can't lie.
I'm not allowed to be a traitor.
Yeah, I can't. I've been a traitor to everybody in my life. I can't do it anymore. Please. I spent all my mom's retirement fund on a shitty bar that I never showed up to. Please don't pick me. Please. And Alan's like, okay, weird. Okay.
Weird.
Next.
That was good. That was a good weird.
Thank you. And then he picks Bob the drag queen. Bob drag queen is like, I'm going to be employee of the month.
Yep. And he picks Carolyn and he picks Danielle.
Yeah.
And we're kind of like, wow, there's going to be some interesting stuff happening because of all of the setup that has gone on into this season.
Yeah.
And then we see another hooded figure show up in the turret. And we're like, who the fuck is that?
Well, don't we have to talk about the first murders before we get there? Or the first banishment?
Oh, yeah, true. That happens after that.
There's some stuff that happens. I can't remember do you want to pull up the wiki? I can't remember the
No, you're right.
the chronology of it all.
Yeah, I'll pull up the wiki.
But so we start off, we have our traitors, Danielle, Carolyn, Bob. They go into the first challenge, and the first challenge is get on these boats. And there are these pontoons.
Get on these boats!
Get on these freaking boats and row, you bitches.
Yeah.
And there's these different like stops in the water, in the lake, with money.
It's rafts with barrels on top of them.
Yeah.
And for you to claim the money, okay, so the premise of Traitors is that you can work towards a total prize pot of $250,000, which is like not that much money, to be honest. But
But like you're in Scotland with Alan Cummings, everyone's wearing plaid. It's like an experience.
100%. It's
worth
sick.
it.
It's sick. So they have to do these challenges to earn that money. And the first challenge is the people who are left on the rafts, and there's 2 people that have to be left every time. They secure the money for the whole group, but they don't get safety.
Everybody who comes back, there's like a big ring of fire. They have to light it and stand in the middle, and all of those people get to have shields.
Yeah.
Literally, like at least 10 people get shields. It's crazy. But that leaves only a certain amount of people at risk. And the risk of being like, okay, I'll stay behind is like, oh, you feel safe enough, you know? And immediately all of the men are selfish. None of them want to get off the boat. So it's all of the women and then Bob and also Bob and also
yeah, 2 Bobs.
Bob. No, I'm just
2 Bobs and a couple housewives. That's
Yeah.
what's left on the rafts.
yeah, and Danielle, she's like
Wait, let's say everybody who's on the rafts.
I can't remember everybody.
It's Dorinda, Ayan.
Oh,
No. Dorinda, Dolores, Bob, Danielle, Robin.
Oh yeah. That's 6, right?
I thought there were 8. I guess there were 6.
I can't remember.
I think Ayan. No, maybe not. Anyway, so yeah, those are the people left on the rafts, and they're vulnerable. They're vulnerable to be murdered. And that night, the Traitors meet up for the first time. And is there anything else you want to say about the challenge? Sorry.
No. But the first turret meeting is super interesting because you can kind of tell right away that it's going to be a season of them not getting along. And Danielle is like, you have to think 20 steps ahead. And then Carolyn's like, but you can't assume what people are going to think. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to only think right now in the moment.
It's just a completely pointless argument out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They're literally arguing about philosophical bullshit.
Yeah.
And Bob TDQ establishes himself as a controlling presence in the group because Danielle defers to him because she likes him, and Carolyn feels like on the outs, so she also kind of just accepts whatever he's saying.
She's just kind of always the odd woman out wherever she is, She eats cereal with a fork.
There's a picture of her eating cereal.
I like to let the milk drip out.
And now it's here.
It's just we should just have a moving picture of Carolyn the whole time.
We're going to get a green screen, and that's going to be our background.
Carolyn eating cereal with a fork.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. Carolyn, if you're watching this, you have the opportunity to come on our podcast and explain yourself. Explain yourself.
So yes, it doesn't seem like it's going to be smooth sailing because for the past few seasons, there's been some conflict between the Traitors, but for the most part, they've kind of cooperated.
They do try to cooperate, and it's early on, so you always want to try to work well together. And something we forgot to mention was everybody who got a shield got to come back to the castle first and ate. They literally ate everything. And then all of the other people who were left on the rafters came back and had to eat the scraps. And it caused a fight in the kitchen.
It caused a fight in the kitchen between Ivor and Dorinda.
Yeah. And so Dorinda's like, you fucking left us. You fucking left us out there. And now we can't even fucking eat.
And I have to believe that was a choice on production's part to just only provide food for a certain number of people.
Yeah.
So that people would be, cause more drama to happen, basically.
Yeah, they're all hungry. They're hangry.
And like we said, any reason to banish you at this point is enough.
Yeah. So
the Traitors, they go up into the turret and they start tossing names out. And I think everyone is kind of on the same page. They want to get out a housewife.
Yeah.
But the argument kind of is between Dorinda and Robin.
Yeah. Well, they think Dolores and Dorinda would not kill each other.
Right.
But Dolores and Dorinda would kill Robin. And that fight happens, and it's just, it's too juicy of an opportunity. So their first kill is Dorinda.
Yeah, and is there anything else to cover before the banishment?
Wells does make a comment, some subtle foreshadowing. He's like, that's a dumb move. And then Robin's like, what? I thought it was really smart. What are you talking about? And then they get into...
So, yeah. They start suspecting each other, basically.
Yeah.
And so we go into banishment, and there's a couple people who are high on the hit list. There's Ivor, there's there's Robin, and there's Wells. Mm-hmm. There's a couple other names thrown out there, but no one really, it doesn't stick.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it ends up being between Ivor, Wells, and Robin. I think it was a 3-way tie.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I think it was a 3-way tie.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
And Bob, the drag queen, is the one who brings up Wells. He's like, your behavior was suspicious. Everybody's telling me. Everybody's like, Wells is so suspicious.
And then as soon as Wells kind of refutes his point, he backs off.
Yeah.
And that'll become relevant later. But ultimately, Wells gets sent home first.
Yeah. Bye.
And honestly, he's been a kind of a little bitch on social media. So bye. Never knew ya. Never will know ya.
Bye. Never want to see you again.
Yeah.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Fuck you,
Nice.
Wells.
Never heard that one before. That's good.
What is from Hannah Montana?
So yeah, that's the first week, and now now the interesting stuff happens. Now, a new figure appears in the turret.
Yeah.
In a cloak.
Well, you kind of skipped a little bit.
Oh.
So the end of the episode, we just see a man in a cloak in the woods with Alan Cummings.
Yeah.
And Cumming. It's so hard not to add the S. It just feels like it should be there.
Yeah.
Alan Cumming, change your name, man, so that it's easier for me. So Bob, they show Bob. Wait, fuck. So they show Rob in the forest with Alan, and Alan's like, "You're going to enter my game as a traitor." And then it cuts to Rob being pulled up into this cage in the sky, and he just looks over, and there's 2 other cages with 2 other figures, and he takes off his cloak, and he's like, "Ha ha ha ha! Oh, it's you guys!" But we don't get to see who they are yet.
And then the next episode, we are shown, it is revealed that in the 2 other cages are just 2 fucking sleeping monsters.
Is Rob a part of this murder, or do they decide that without him?
He was a part of this murder.
Okay.
He was a part of the second week's murder.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the other 2 cages are Wes Bergman of Challenge fame. He self-proclaimed winningest player in reality competition shows history.
Quantitatively, probably correct.
Yeah, but also just a fucking menace. He's in the cage. I've never seen this guy before. This is my first time encountering him, and I'm scared.
Yeah.
My first impression of him was that he kills small animals for pleasure. He
Like
likes
with
to,
his bare hands, so he
Yeah.
can feel the life drain
He either
out of
kills
them.
small animals or he kills really powerful men because other people are just not really worth his time. And he
Yeah.
likes to do it slowly with his hands.
So he can feel the
I
life.
like to kill people with my hands because I could see the life draining out of their eyes.
I like to murder for fun. What do you like to do?
Yeah. And honestly, I would murder you, but you're really not worth my time.
And I will give you an autograph.
He is a savage, all right? He is a very frightening man, and he has no remorse for anything. And he's, people who know him know that he's a huge villain.
Yeah.
He's like a huge antagonist in every season of his show that he was on. And in the other cage is Derek Levasseur.
Of Big Brother 16.
Yeah.
So one of our
Probably
guys.
one of the 3 greatest players in Big Brother history. It's really kind of a toss-up between him and Dan Giesling. Dan Giesling has the argument that he's been on 2 seasons and won money on 2 seasons. Derek has the argument that he's never been put up. He's a perfect player. He's like a incredibly sharp. I mean, he used to be a goddamn detective.
Yeah,
you know?
he freaking he knows what's going on at
Yeah.
all times.
And he sniffs it out. And once he has a hunch, he's not going to let it go. And he's also these are 3 very different types of players, all kind of villains in their own right. But they're literally like three comic book characters.
Yeah, they're 3 men who are meant to be on reality TV.
Yeah.
3 insane players, and there's an episode, and we'll get to it, where they're just all going toe to toe, and it's probably one of the greatest things to watch as a reality TV fan. 3 of some of the goats freaking arguing. Ugh.
We're jumping a little bit ahead.
We'll
but
get there.
So we enter the next week, and we have these 3 guys in a cage, and we're like, oh, what's going to happen with that? They do a challenge, and basically the point of the challenge is to curry favor with these 3 guys by putting coins in their respective piles to lower the cage.
Yeah.
And upon being lowered all the way down, they get to join the game.
Yeah, and they have 3 shields that they can give out to anybody. So everybody's dropping their coins in Boston Robs because they're like, sorry, we didn't shake the hand. Here, I'm putting coins.
Yeah, we love you.
And only Sandoval is giving coins to Derek, and Sandoval's like, I don't give a fuck. All 3 of them actually are like, I'm not paying attention because I'm going to do what I want to do.
There's 3 separate confessionals of them going it really doesn't matter.
Who's giving me
coins? These guys are sick, man. In a good way, not sick,
No, but sick.
Yeah,
here.
they're fucking cool as hell. They remind me of if you have a video game where there's 3 big bosses that you have to go fight. There's one that's kind of brainy. There's one that's brawn, and then there's one that's finesse. Rob is finesse. Braun is Wes. And then Smarts is Derek.
You know what? All three of them have only daughters.
Yeah.
How fucking terrifying to be the guy that comes home to any of those men. I would literally shit myself.
Yeah, I feel like Boston Rob would be tough.
I feel like he would be kind of nice. Like,
yeah, but he'd be like nice as he dismisses you and sends you home.
he would give you like a really like too strong of a handshake,
Yeah.
and like you'd be like, oh my god, my hand's broken.
He'd be like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Come on, go home."
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah. Come on, really? You think
Yeah.
you can fucking?
Oh, I thought I could fly.
I think Wes would literally like.
Yeah.
You knock on the door and he opens like, I don't know, with a gun.
Just covered in blood.
Yeah.
Just covered in.
He's cleaning a knife. Sorry, I was
Who
just
are you,
cooking.
little guy?
Yeah.
So yeah, they're aura to the max. These three guys.
Yeah.
And ultimately, all three of them get to join the game. And the murder that night, and before the murder, who do they give their shields out to?
Yeah. So they give out their shields. They're allowed to do it in secrecy. They kind of come in at a disadvantage not having all the information, but also they're safe from banishment because, they just got there. So obviously
they're at a
not part of the
disadvantage.
marriage. So they're just trying to get as much information as possible. I lost my train of thought.
You were going to talk about Sandoval.
I was, yeah. How'd you know?
I don't know. I'd be knowing shit.
You be knowing shit.
I would be great in Traitors. Get me on Traitors.
Yeah, let's all be on Traitors. I would be a bad traitor though, because I'm a bad liar. Yeah. So Wes is trying to get information immediately, and there's like a scene where Sandoval's like, people who are not traitors for sure, Danielle and Bob TDQ, really trust them. Immediately wrong, of course, per usual. People that I think are traitors, Chriselle, because she's friends with my ex-girlfriend, and I can't remember the other one that he named, but Wes is just like, I'm not listening to this guy.
And he resumes not listening to him for the rest of the show.
Everybody doesn't listen to Tom for the whole show, which is so yes.
Yeah, so the shields end up getting handed off. So Derek gives his shield to Dylan. Rob gives his shield to Tony, and Wes gives his shield to Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
So the three, this is Jeremy's second shield in a row because he was not on the rafts, so he's been saved 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
And the murder that happens that night was Ayan. Poor sweet Ayan. She never knew what was going on. She didn't even get to play the game.
She didn't even know Survivor was a show.
Yeah.
I love her.
She's just like a pretty bird that you keep in a cage, and then you feed her like, okay, have some seeds. Is that sexist?
I don't co-sign the cage imagery.
Okay.
But she
Not
is
in a
beautiful.
cage, in a beautiful mansion.
Yes. Yeah. Real Housewives of Dubai. Bye.
Check your microaggressions, everybody.
Yeah.
So Ayan gets murdered, and poor sweet Ayan, she's too good for this world.
Yeah.
Too good for this world of deception, duplicity, and traitors.
It's just as well. She had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. She's a pretty bird in a big house.
Yes. There you go.
In a big
Nice.
house, spreading her wings and not quite learning how to fly.
Yeah. So Ayan, do bye.
Dolores do cry.
Dolores do cry. And then we get to the round table, and now finally, like the three new guys, they can say stuff, they can contribute. They're also at risk to be banished. And some of the girls bring up Tony, the Bambis. They bring up Tony. They're like...
And their reasoning is very simple. He's been throwing too many names around.
Yeah.
He's suspicious of a lot of people, and it feels like deflecting, which is fair.
Wait, I thought it was... You're probably right, but I thought it was that he's being quiet, and they were like, we see how loud you are in Survivor.
I don't remember that, but maybe it could be both. I don't remember that, but I remember them saying that, like, Tony, and I remember Tony going around and throwing out a bunch of names. Oh, one quick little thing. We forgot to mention this in the first episode, but Jeremy pulls Carolyn aside.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't know if Danielle's a traitor, but just watch her. She's acting funny.
Yeah, she's crying too much.
Yeah, because during the first challenge, she was like, you
guys go. It's okay.
She's a horrible actor. And during breakfast, she's like, I bet it's going to be this person. I felt so scared last night. I couldn't sleep.
I know she's talking too much.
Yeah.
And so not enough people are realizing her bad acting, but some people are.
Yeah.
Jeremy throws Carolyn's name out there.
No,
Jeremy throws Danielle's name out there.
Yeah.
At this point, like, there's still not like broken trust yet. So Carolyn is like, "Oh, I heard your name. Brah.
Yeah.
Careful, you're overacting too much, maybe." And so we get to the round table. Jeremy doesn't say anything yet because he doesn't have.
He's careful.
He doesn't have enough evidence.
Yeah.
Dylan tries to go for Bob the drag queen. Bob the drag queen eats him alive. And Dylan's point is, hey, you threw Wells's name out there and then immediately like backed into the bushes like the Homer Simpson meme.
Yeah.
Like, what's that about, dude?
And that was suspicious to him because he says that if you're a traitor, you would know that Wells isn't a traitor.
Yeah.
So all that leads to a lot of nothing. You know, he kind of gets talked down, and they end up banishing Tony.
Yeah.
And Tony is a real crybaby.
And the nail in Tony's coffin is Rob goes, I don't know if you're a traitor or not, but I gave you a shield, and you've never talked to me again. And that's weird and hurtful. And Tony...
And every time Rob talks, the needle gets moved.
Yeah.
He's an impactful... like, on every show he's on, he's an impactful player.
He makes so many changes, and he only has to say 3 words every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what happens when Tony leaves?
Tony's like, I'm a faithful, and you're a sellout, bro.
Yeah, Tony does not take it well, and he's still not taking it well online.
That's it. He's so used to winning. He's I guess tied for the most wins in Survivor history, but I think he was the first to get 2 wins.
Yeah.
So he's kind of the go-to Survivor, and come on, man. It's a game. You got to realize it's a game.
He's a big sore loser.
Yeah.
He blames the girls on Instagram. He's like, the Bambis did this. They're sellout, bros. They're sellout. But I want them to collab with me on this post, though. Yeah, so he leaves. And every season we see the production try to make it harder for the traitors. You know, like season 2 gave this weird rusty glass to somebody. Whoever drinks out of it will be poisoned and die.
Yeah.
This season, they're like, you have to shortlist 3 names on a secret room in the back of the bar in public, and those 3 people, and you can even put a traitor in there. They're given the option to shortlist a traitor for murder.
Yeah.
Name 3 people. They're going to go in coffins, and then you guys will have to pick somebody. And so who do they shortlist for murder?
They shortlist Jeremy because he's suspecting Danielle. I mean, he's their target, obviously. They shortlist Sierra and Nikki because they haven't really been in the mix. So they wanted to... Basically, this plan was to simultaneously get rid of a threat and also put suspicion on Sierra and Nikki.
Yes.
And it worked like a charm.
Yeah. And so they ultimately murder Jeremy, and Carolyn's like, why did I just agree to murder my family? Oh my God. And Danielle's like, no, he has to go because he mentioned my name. And Bob's like, okay, if they're looking at you, they could also look at us. So I agree. And so Jeremy dies.
Jeremy goes home, and
now it's the Stonehenge.
Okay, never mind. So now we get into the next day, so now it's the next day, and they have to do a challenge, and the challenge is a Stonehenge.
Oh, did we want to mention the things that they say in the coffin? Like,
Sierra's
100%. Like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. So a big sticking point is that every one of them get to have a last word. Alan Cumming is like, players, any last words?
Yeah, and Sierra's like, I'm fucking coming for you.
Yeah, and Jeremy was like, I'll literally do anything you want. Just keep me alive. I'll do anything.
And Nikki's just like, I'm here. And my traps are huge.
Yeah. So Sierra was hella aggressive, and that definitely rubbed certain people the wrong way.
Yeah, because they were like, dude, Jeremy literally is like selling his soul, and you're just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, people
not
are
knowing
very
that that
suspicious.
is who she is on Summer House. We love you, Cece.
We love you.
Chada.
So Jeremy gets murdered. Immediately there's suspicion on Sierra and Nikki because they're surviving, and everybody's thinking, like, obviously the traitors would put themselves in there to throw off suspicion. So good that they didn't put any of themselves in there.
Yeah. And I think there's a layer of like reverse psychology that really comes into play this season, because in previous seasons the game wasn't sophisticated. As a traitor, you basically just wanted to cause chaos. But
Yeah.
this season, I am of the opinion that a lot of the times the more obvious move would be the more confusing move.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring up, like, that was such a good point that you made when we were watching, that like they're gonna start to just make more and more obvious choices because people are gonna be overthinking it so much that they're gonna be like, they wouldn't do that.
Specific to this season, especially because, well, we can get to it when, you know, the whole Rob shit goes down. But so we get into the Stonehenge challenge, and men are kicking ass. They're being sick.
They're being selfish.
They're being amazing.
They're being selfish and greedy per
all
usual.
we know is how to win. Win, 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 no matter what. That's us. But yeah, they're being a little selfish.
At least women know how to fake orgasms, and we've had that forever, and we'll always have that, and you'll never know.
Except Derek. Derek was being nice because he knows that this is a relationship building game.
Yeah, it's very important to form and create relationships to save yourself, because the more people you have on your side, you're not going to get, at least you can save yourself from being banished.
And our friend Maddie made a really great point, because we've been powwowing about this every episode, but she made a point that like everyone kind of misconstrues Traitor as a game to get out the traitors. No, the objective of the game is to get to the end.
Yeah. Form relationships and then get the traitors out at the end.
Yeah, 100%. Because when you're left with 3-4 people in the house, your one vote matters way more than if you had, like, say, 10 people in the house.
Yeah, exactly. So we get to the Stonehenge challenge. You know, only a certain amount of people can get shields from this. Whoever gets to put their heads on bodies. So all of the men are selfish. And Bob says something kind of interesting. And a moment we didn't talk about was Rob earlier had mentioned, you know, I will be loyal to the traitors until they are not loyal to me.
Yeah. And I think he fully intended to do that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's easier, I think, to get through the game.
Yeah.
You make it further if you're working together.
Yeah, and I think, like, Rob is doing a really great job walking a line of, like, being involved enough but not being in the spotlight. Where I feel like he's playing a very solid game up until this point. And so, yeah, after the challenge, Bob... TDQ.
Bob makes a really interesting comment where he's like,
he's
don't
definitely
forget,
chaotic neutral, dude.
Yeah, don't forget about the 3 new guys. One of them has to be a traitor. So Rob hears that from Bob, because Bob is like, Rob could maybe be... No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he puts a lot of eyes onto these 3 guys who, like, you know, people were looking at, but it wasn't top of mind. And that was enough for... Rob, it's so hard to going back and forth between Rob and Bob. Rob. So
you
Rob,
sound like
I mean,
that thing from Chowder. Yeah.
So Rob, I mean, like, this is the kind of player he is. Immediately, one little red flag, he's like, I gotta get his ass out.
Yeah, and Dylan, like, they're showing him in confessionals earlier where he's like, I still think Bob's a traitor, but I don't have enough support to get rid of him yet, so I have to wait till I have more support, more evidence. So Rob immediately beelines for Dylan and is like, Bob, tonight it's going down. He starts getting everybody together. Then he goes to Carolyn and Danielle and he's like, hey, this plan happened out of nowhere. This is what's happening.
And I wish he didn't do that, because I feel like the trust would have been easier to mend if he was just like, I need to get him out right from the beginning. You know?
Yeah. Well, Danielle was never going to be on board with that because Bob was her number 1.
Yeah, but like, you kind of force her hand at that point, you know?
Yeah, so they enter the round table. I'm thinking like Dylan's finally got his moment to shine. And what happens?
So it's a lot of Nikki, it's a lot of Sierra, and then like basically nobody mentions anybody else besides those 2. And Dylan doesn't jump in because again, he's a little bit like apprehensive about taking the lead on, because if you're constantly hammering the same nail, it's going to put suspicion on you too.
Yeah, and also like he literally got eaten alive by Bob last time he did that. So he's like,
not like
a scared little boy.
He's not a TV personality, you know? He's a normal dude who's just really like tuned in to what's going on.
Yeah.
And so like no one is bringing Bob's name, and Rob eventually is just like, you guys, we're all focusing on the wrong thing. There's one guy who's been puppeteering this entire thing. He's been influencing every decision, and it's you, Bob. And Bob's like, Jacques, what?
What?
Yeah.
Me?
He literally is shooketh to the core, man.
Yeah, and he's like, I have 5 words for you. I...
No, 9 words.
What?
9 words. I swear to God, I am not a traitor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not a traitor. And then
And then
Rob is like, I have 2... Or no, he's like, I swear to God, I am a faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then... Fuck. Rob is like, I have 2 words. You're not. And then Rob is just like, if he's not a traitor, get me out next.
And that was kind of like the seal on the deal, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone, I mean, he's very, like, if you're not tuning into the season of Traitors, Rob is a guy who talks with such conviction that it's hard to not be persuaded by him.
He's never stuttered on his words in his life.
He's never sounded pressed, and that is the difference between Bob and Rob in this situation, is that Bob is caught off guard, so he's swinging for the fences. He's you know, he's panicking, he's emotional.
Yeah, Dylan's like, you're such a good actor. I grew up with an actor. I know one when I see one. And then friggin' Bob nailing his coffin is like, not a good one. How dare you?
But he apologized for that. So
yeah.
Shout out to Bob, man. And he was going through a tough time, so double shout out to him.
Yeah, I did not know that his mom had just died. So that context is like so insane. But so Bob ultimately gets voted out. He stands in the circle of truth and he's like, I've never told a lie. I swear to God. And that's a lie because I don't believe in God. And he's a good sport about it. He's like,
it's just all gameplay.
Yeah, but then Danielle and Carolyn are immediately shooketh because they're like, we don't trust each other. Oh my God. What are we going to do?
We're a team. We're not a team.
Yeah, they're not a team.
Yeah.
So they meet in the turret and Rob is just like...
Wait, before that happens... Wes is in the bar.
Oh, yeah, with Ivor
and Tom Sandoval. And he was very careful about choosing his words here because he never explicitly said Rob is a traitor. He just asked a bunch of questions.
Yeah, he was like, how do you know somebody is a traitor? How would you know that a traitor is a traitor?
And Tom Sandoval's like, you wouldn't.
Well, Ivor's like, you wouldn't. And Tom's unless you're a traitor. And something Tom Sandoval says before all this, he's like, I'm just going to listen when that guy talks. And Wes is like, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
What's really going on here?
Yeah, Wes kind of sounds like a black cat came to life.
Yeah, literally. And something I thought, like, obviously this was a good move on his part, but I can see the risk of, like, holy shit. Like, you kind of just exposed yourself. If Danielle and Carolyn can work together, which, you know, they won't be able to ever work together ever. They don't like each other. Yeah.
Way to spoil the drama.
Drama.
But this episode was a huge turning point in the season, you know, because this was like the trust between the Traitors, which was frayed before, is now completely broken.
Yeah, and like it's only week 3 and crazy shit is already happening.
Well,
like,
dude, the house is filled with people who are willing to make big moves. We know this, you
yeah.
know? So
it's actually so nice because if you see in the first 2 seasons, it takes a couple weeks. Like the first couple roundtables are like,
no one even wants to talk.
Nobody wants to speak up because they're freaking scared, dude.
Yeah. But I think the most impressive thing about Rob has always been that he never actually lies.
Yeah.
He's very influential without having to actually tell direct lies. He just points out facts that align with his argument, which isn't necessarily true. Mm-hmm. But so he goes up to the turret and he's very honest with other Traitors. Like, the only reason I did this was because he mentioned me. And Danielle and Carolyn are kind of just like doing semantics. They're like, yeah, but he didn't say your name.
Yeah, they're like, he said the 3 new guys. But like,
you know, if this had happened to them, they would feel equally targeted.
Yeah, and Danielle is just like, you got to get a mobster when they least expect it. You know, she's trying to do this whole like thing. And she's like, so I'm just going to let Rob think that I trust him. I'm going to let him decide what to do. So they're discussing the murder. And who do they ultimately come up with?
They get rid of Robin, which I honestly do think is their best move here.
Yeah.
Because no one is looking at her as a traitor at this point.
Yeah.
And also, she does carry, like, she often speaks up during the round table. She's kind of moving the needles. So
Yeah.
it makes sense to get rid of her. And it doesn't put any splash on any of them, you know, because she doesn't have a relationship with any of them.
Yeah.
And so they go into the challenge, and the challenge is a riddly thingy. And they have these vases filled with gold or black dust. And Alan Cumming tells you a riddle. And you have to look for the answer, which is labeled underneath the vases, and smash the vase. And if it's gold, you get to put your picture in one of 2 slots, which allow you to have a shield. And you also have the option, if you go later than the first 2, to remove someone's picture and put up your own or someone else's if you're fucking stupid.
It behooves you to go later in the game so that you
Good
can
word.
ensure. Thank you. Does it behoove you? It behooves you to go later in the game so that way you can feel like, okay, nobody's going to take my picture down.
Yeah.
And so people are going up there. They're putting their portraits up if they're right.
Yeah, and
which
Sandoval
makes
does
sense.
it. Sandoval takes off Chriselle's picture, puts up his own.
Yeah.
And, everyone is putting up their own picture. Derek puts up his picture. And then Danielle gets up, takes off Derek's picture, and puts up fucking Dolores'.
She's like, I'm sick of them being murdered, even though I'm the one doing it.
She's being sus as hell. And everybody in the room is like, what?
Everyone's like, say what?
And then she goes again, and she takes off someone else's picture and puts Derek's back up.
Yeah, she's like, you owe me one. And then everybody's like, what?
And I think she starts to realize how fucked she is at this point.
Yeah, she's being suspicious.
She's like fake crying on stage, and Dolores is literally like, hey, get fuck off.
Yeah, Dolores is like, enough.
Yeah.
Stop crying. We're not doing this. And Danielle's like, oh my God, I'm going to get murdered.
And it's so sus, and everyone is so suspicious of her.
Everyone in the confessionals, too, was like, this is weird behavior. This is very bizarre.
Yeah.
And then we get to the round table. And I know the round table is like 1 to 2 hours. We're not seeing everything that happens.
Yeah.
So I know, like, if something gets brought up and nobody, like a vote isn't affected by what information is brought up, they're not going to show it. But I'm just like, how did everybody talk about Danielle, how weird she was being, and then nobody brought it up? Nobody voted for her.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up being kind of boring because it was just the Nikki versus Sierra show.
Yeah, and it was
with a couple of Robs tossed in here and there. Like Bob Harper brings up Rob.
Yeah.
And was it Derek who brought up Rob?
No, not yet.
There were 2 people who brought him up.
I can't remember the other person, but yeah, Bob was one. And there's a moment in the van on the way back where Danielle's sitting with Nikki and Chriselle, and she's like,
gut-wrenching.
Oh, Bob actually brought up your name, Nikki. And then Nikki's like, what? And then Chriselle in her mind is like, I felt an energy shift.
Yeah. My crystal's rattled.
And people are still suspicious of Nikki, and they're still suspicious of Sierra. So this is not like anything new. Once your name is out there, it's kind of hard for your name to ever be clean until you're gone and people know for sure.
You have to pull like an amazing game move to remove suspicion.
Yeah, and so Chriselle, I can't remember, is it Rob that she goes to?
Yeah, Chriselle goes to Rob.
And she's like, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to have a panic attack. Oh my God. I felt an energy shift, and I think Nikki is a traitor.
And so we fast forward to the round table, and the votes are coming in for Nikki. And it's almost unanimous. There's 2 votes for Sierra, which is Nikki and Derek.
Yeah.
And so Chriselle gives this gut-wrenching speech about just like, she's so nervous. It looks like she was on the verge of having a panic attack. And she's like, this hurts me so much because I love you so much, but I did feel like you are a traitor. Nikki goes home, and that does it for that week.
Yeah.
And they were wrong because she's faithful.
They were wrong. And so they step into the turret, trying to figure out who's next to go. And something...
Oh, another thing that happened. Yeah.
The other person who brought up Rob was Sam. He was like, if Rob is still here tomorrow, I'm going to look at him.
One other thing we forgot to mention was that Danielle was in a car with Brittany and some other people. And she was like, this is right after the challenge. She was like, I have a strong feeling about one person that no one's looking at, and it's Carolyn.
Yeah, and Brittany is like, no, there's no way she can't emotionally handle it. No way, which is so great in Carolyn's favor.
Yeah.
She's like, no way, Jose. Oh, yeah, and she also mentions it to
Hey, who's
Dylan,
Jose
too.
and why is he so fucking negative?
If you're Jose and you're watching, let us know in the comments down below why you're
Jose.
so negative.
It's a new year. You can be a new you, okay?
It's never too late to change your attitude.
Positivity, mentality, frame of mind is everything, Jose.
Yeah.
Say Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yahweh, Jose.
Yahweh is,
Jesus.
yeah.
Say Jesus.
Bless you.
All right, and that's been our coverage of Traitors. No, I'm just kidding.
So Danielle is trying to cover her ass and throw Carolyn's name out there. Nobody's buying it. Not
Brittany
even.
tells Carolyn. Sorry, I'm just trying to speed it up a little
Well,
bit.
we haven't gotten to that part yet. Because Bob's murder has to happen first. So,
Really?
yeah, Brittany talks to Carolyn like the next day.
Okay, so we got to speed up because we have a lot of other stuff to cover, but they're in the turret. They're still mad at each other, but they're deliberating between Ivor and Bob. And the reasoning for Ivor is that everyone thinks he's a faithful.
Yeah, nobody is gonna banish him ever.
And Bob is because he mentioned Rob. So they kill Bob. Everyone is distraught because honestly, Bob is such a nice, wholesome.
Just a nice dude. They're like, oh my god, he was one of the Bambis.
Yeah, you said something funny. You said he's more Bambi than Nikki, and I totally agree.
I thought you said that.
We're both funny.
Okay, so Bob goes bye-bye. Their next challenge is to try to get enough gunpowder through these different like cases in the woods. They're split off into 3 teams. They have to try to figure out like the codes to these boxes through riddles.
I have no idea what the game was about, to be honest.
Yeah, sometimes it's confusing, but they just have to get enough gunpowder to topple a giant traitor. And in all of these bins are different shields. And so everybody's of the mindset, like, don't tell.
First of all, everyone is split up into groups of 5 or 4 plus because it's 3 women or 2 women and 2 guys at least on each squad.
Yeah.
And they're allowed to keep their shield secret because once they secure their shield, only the people who are in their team know who has the shield.
Yeah. And I mean, the best thing you could do as a faithful is not tell people who has the shield. That way the murders risk trying to murder somebody who actually has a shield.
And so far in Traitors history, that's only happened one time where someone with the shield has been selected to be murdered.
Yeah. Well, Peter purposefully was like, ooh, I have this shield, but really it's Bergie. So,
We gotta speed it up.
Yeah. Well, there's also a lot of dead air time in this. Don't forget.
Not like 30 minutes worth though.
Okay. So, they win the challenge. Who has the shield? It's Carolyn.
It's Carolyn. She's fucking bird claws. Gets it.
And she's like, I don't even need this.
Yeah.
What?
And basically she gets to keep it. Dylan gets the other one, and the last one I think is Dolores.
Chriselle.
Oh, Chriselle.
Chriselle gets it, and Derek is like, I'm gonna bring up Rob. I need the shield.
And he's kind of powwowing with Wes after this, and Wes doesn't seem like he's ready to go after Rob, but he's like, I can't like, this is the only shot I got, you know. So he's kind of forced to do it.
Yeah.
And we get to the biggest banishment of the season, in my opinion.
This round table, I really had no idea which way it was gonna go.
We'll act it out for you. Okay?
Yeah, I'll be Carolyn, obviously.
I'll be Rob, and you be Derek.
Okay.
Yeah. So the conversation kicks off with Tom.
Tom, so Dolores is like, my name's out there. I'll just go. Tom,
Yeah.
can you just say whatever you're gonna say? None of us are gonna listen because nobody believes you.
No, her exact words were, I don't care what you're gonna say because I'm pretty sure it's not gonna make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want you to be nervous because whatever you're gonna say doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so Tom's talking. He's in the middle of theory 83, and
Yeah.
Derek is like, can you wrap this up? We have more important things to talk
men
about.
need to talk. Men are about to speak, and the boys need to sit down.
Yeah, so then Tom is just like shut down. He's probably
He
never
goes to the kids' table.
He's never gonna speak again for the rest of the show. He's just gonna have his hands in his pockets and walk like this.
Also, earlier in the episode, he walks up and delivers this Dolores theory to Wes and Derek, and they're like, Okay,
They're like,
yeah.
actually, can we talk now?
Yeah. No one gives a fuck about Tom Sandoval.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's so great to watch as an Ariana fan.
Yeah, at one point he's shoveling eggs in his face, and then Gabby walks in and she just goes, ugh, and walks out.
Yes. So everybody starts. This is an insane roundtable. Derek and Wes are trying to go in on Rob. Rob, he has a couple moments where he does stutter, and I'm like, maybe he won't come out.
Let's just act it out. Let's act it out.
I don't remember all of the words, though.
No, but you don't have to. Just like the basic idea.
I don't even remember
Okay,
the
I'll
points
do
they
everything.
Yeah, I'll just be Carolyn.
Okay, so Derek starts off the conversation, and he is like, I'm just going to list a bunch of facts, okay? The fact is that that Rob was the one to bring Bob's name up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Harper's not here.
Bob Harper's not here.
Yeah.
And he makes a very compelling argument for Rob, and it kind of feels like, at this point, I was feeling like, oh, he's kind of fucked.
Yeah.
And then Rob starts his, he's like, okay, you can think that, but that's not what happened.
Something that helps Rob is the fact that none of the women like Wes.
And also, Wes has been going around influencing everybody.
Yeah, like there was a scene earlier where they're talking about, what's going to happen before the round table, and Wes is like, so you guys are on board with this plan, right?
Yeah.
This is what we're doing.
He's just a very intimidating, and like he comes on really strong.
Yeah, he's probably a little bit of a misogynist, maybe.
Yeah.
And so the women are like, we don't like how you talk to us. And then Wes is like, I'm the greatest of all time, so you have to listen to me.
Yeah, if he were black, he'd be Kanye West.
Yeah, and then he's like, whoever votes for me, you're an idiot.
Wait, you're skipping ahead. I didn't even get to say what Rob said.
Oh, sorry.
So the whole thing about explaining why Wes is relevant is because Rob then goes like, who has had his hand in every cookie jar? Who's been tossing my name out? It's Wes Jacques. And then Wes is like,
Wes
no.
is like, you're literally an idiot if you vote for me, and I'm going to come for you with my bare hands and choke you until the life drains from your eyes.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to stop right before you die so the life can come back, and then I'll kill you again.
And he digs his own grave, because I think it was such a close vote. It was like a fucking inches of difference between these two guys. And so he digs his own grave, and he antagonizes all the women. And again, this show is all about likability. It really is. It's about like being trustworthy and likable.
He might be the winningest, like, quantitatively, but he's not good at adapting his game. Like, he's just kind of like, oh, this is what has always worked for me, so I will continue to
he's
be
a
an
bulldozer.
asshole.
He's a bulldozer. And so, because he said all this mean shit, all the women basically, except for Gabby, vote for him.
Yeah, well, you're skipping over some stuff. So yeah, Gabby, it seems like she's gonna be Team Rob,
I'm trying to speed it up.
and then Carolyn is like, actually, we should be looking at Danielle. And and then Danielle's like, what? Me? Huh? What? And something that happens in the turret before is like, Carolyn's like, somebody brought up my name, Danielle. How can we all trust each other now? And then Danielle's like, give me a chance. Like, I swear to God, I'll be better. I'm sorry about that. You just have to let me prove myself. And all day, people are coming to Carolyn being like, somebody brought up your name, Danielle. And so Carolyn thinks like this is still ongoing, that Danielle's still throwing her name out after saying this.
Exactly. She doesn't know when the name was brought up, so she assumes that after they had this tacit agreement.
Yeah, it's still happening. And so Carolyn's super emotional, and Danielle's like, why are you so emotional? Then Karen's like, you know what? I'm going to stop crying. Or actually, I'm going to cry more. So Carolyn's throwing out Danielle's name. I have no idea how Danielle's going to vote, because it is so risky to vote for Boston Rob. And if he stays in the game, you're fucking fucked.
Yeah. And ultimately, Wes gets voted out. Yeah. And he has a swan song before he leaves.
He's like, fuck you guys.
He before he said fuck you guys, he goes, I'm still the greatest. Okay, I'm the winningest player in reality competition show history. And to all the people that died, I don't know who you are, because I'm a faithful.
Yeah. Then he goes, fuck you guys.
Yeah, fuck you all.
Yeah. So Rob survives by the freaking skin of his teeth. Like,
But his days are numbered unless he does something big.
Yeah, and Derek is just like shaking his head the whole time. Like he goes to Dylan, and it's shocking because Dylan's been everybody's favorite, right? He's like the Peter of this season. He's the bloodhound. So everybody wants to know what Dylan thinks. Dylan's so on top of it. Dylan was right the first time. What does Dylan think? This whole episode, we haven't seen what Dylan really thinks. So I don't know if he believes Rob is a traitor or not. Like watching.
Well, Derek goes up to Dylan after the deliberation. He's like, I need you to corroborate me on this. We're getting Rob. And Dylan's like, yeah.
Dylan doesn't say anything. And I have no idea if Dylan believes Derek or if he's suspicious of Derek.
Yeah.
Because too, when the round table was happening, it looked like he was starting to believe that it could be Rob. Like it looked like there were actually tears in his eyes. Ultimately, he voted out Wes and was like, I don't want to do this. And so Derek goes to Brittany and is like, I actually think you're a traitor because you're so on Rob's dick. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you so team Rob? And Brittany's like, what? So I have no idea how it's going to go. And then we get to the turret and Carolyn is like, they're like, I don't know how we come back from this. And Carolyn looks at Rob and is like, we just have to go for Danielle. And it was like such a scary moment. Maybe her scariest moment she's ever had in her life.
Yeah. She's like, bring it. And we've yapped. This has been major yappage. We've been fucking yapping. And I think it's enough yapping. And now we're going to do something fun. We actually did film this part, but it didn't. The tech gods. Goddamn tech gods. Grr. So we're just going to tell you who we got. You don't get to see us spin the wheel, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
We'll show you our list.
Tech gods. Tech gods. Anyway, so for me, I got Rob. I don't even know who I got.
Why don't you just show the lists, our lists on each side?
Yes.
I can just re-go through the video.
This is who I got. This is who she got. We both kind of got who we wanted, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's even because we're both down, I think, the same amount of people.
Yeah. So the way we did this is we spun a wheel and we put all of the people, all of the traitors on one wheel and all of the faithfuls on one wheel.
Yeah.
And we spun and we did this probably 4 weeks in. So some people were already dead, but we decided that if you get a dead guy, then, you know, that's just what happens.
But we both got dead people, so it's okay.
Yeah, so it's like we're playing with a roster of 4 instead of 5.
It's fair.
So, so stay tuned for that, man, because we're going to be racing our little horsies, and then whoever makes it to the end, the other person will have to do a punishment.
Yeah.
Or if both our players make it to the end somehow, then I guess we'll kiss.
I'm nervous.
So that's going to be a fun little thing. So, yeah. Stop, I'm 12!
What? You said you were at least 14.
Never mind. I was going to bring something up, but I don't think we should talk about it.
I'm sweaty. And now I'm sweaty because it's my favorite part of the episode. It's game time!
Okay. What are we playing first? Actually, I want to play the emoji game first. Emoji. So, Adouria is going to be guessing the Traitors player based on the emoji. And these are going to be Traitor players from only this season.
Because it'll be too hard. Because this is a hard game.
All right. First up, we got that one.
It's money. And then it's the sunset. I wonder who it is. Is it Quisel from Selling Sunset?
Yeah, we started off with a little gimme, you know?
Okay.
Just to get you feeling the vibes a little bit.
That's good.
And ding, 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 you're correct. It's Chriselle.
Okay, I feel good about that.
Otherwise known as Real Estate Sheena. Real Estate Sheena Shea.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. A mountain, a bat, and the number 10. Fuck. What could this be? Is it like a really easy one that I'm not going to get?
My only clue for any of these is I would just say all the emojis out loud.
Mountain bat 10. Oh! Oh my god, that's awesome. Okay, well, obviously it's Tom Sandoval. I'm just kidding. It's Ivar.
It's Ivar.
Oh my god, that's awesome. You're a genius. Okay, home, house, wife, What flag is that? Is this Ion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the flag was.
Well,
but
all the other ones are in the United States, so it's a dead giveaway.
yeah, Real Housewife with Dubai Bye.
Do bye. All right. Next up, we got that one.
An island, a hat, and some big ass eyes. Is this Boston Rob?
Yes.
Because he wears a hat.
Yep.
All right.
And he's from Survivor,
You know
and he's
what?
always looking around.
Next time you want to format a game, I'm just gonna listen to you because the other way was so much harder, and now I'm just like, fucking, I'm too on it.
Yeah, it's just less people to pick from. All right, last one might be a little tricky.
Girl, barf. Girl, barf. Girl, barf. Girl, barf. Girl, barf. Girl, barf. Barf, girl. Fuck, girl, barf. Girl, barf. Girl, barf.
Take a shot, dude. Come on.
I'm trying to think. Girl, barf. Girl, barf. Girl, barf. Who's on here? Girl, barf. Girl, barf. I feel like it's never not funny. Girl, barf. Is this about me? Because I'm girl, barf.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
not about.
girl, barf.
It's not about you.
Girl, barf. Okay, who could it be? Girl, barf. Is it about? Can I have a hint?
I told you, I'm only giving you one hint.
Girl, barf. Is it? Oh, is it about Gaggy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love her.
Yeah,
Gabby.
it's girl barf because you gag when you barf.
Yeah.
And she's a lesbian.
Girl.
Shout out LGBTQ plus IA.
Girl, barf. Girl,
And that does it for you nailed that one. I think this is the first game where you've gotten every single question right.
Girl, barf.
In the history of Sooki Sooki. This is a Sooki Sooki first.
Yeah, I said it, and it's never gonna happen again. So don't get used to that shit.
We love the emoji game. We're going to play this a lot.
Yeah, that was fun. That's good.
All right. Next up, we got, what is the game that you're presenting to me? Present me with a game.
We're going to play a game called Approachable versus Not Approachable. What we're going to do is throw out some Traitors players from this season and decide if they would be approachable or not approachable in real life. Could you walk up to them and ask them for a selfie, or would they give you a dirty look?
It's not really approachable or not approachable. It's like, how would an interaction with them look as a fan?
Would you try to interact with them at all? Because, like, this would be a good first one. Wes, I would not approach him. I would be scared. I would be terrified.
I mean, I think if you do approach him, you have to present him with like a fur pelt of some kind.
Here is a fur pelt. I would like your autograph.
Yeah. I think you have to present him with like various body parts of a lion.
You probably have to like do a jig or read him like a poem like,
Yeah.
hello, sir, the winningest of everything.
And you definitely have to be looking at his feet.
Yeah, you have to bow.
Eye contact means that you're challenging him, and that is the rule of the jungle.
Yeah, and if you make eye contact, he could bite your head off.
And also, it has to be...
That's a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah, Wes is one of the more frightening people. However, I think if you're a young girl, specifically a girl between the ages of 6 and 14, I think he'd be very sweet to you because he's a girl dad. What?
Oh, yeah, because he's girl dad. Girl dad.
What did you think I was saying?
I don't know where that was
I
gonna
just
go.
feel like guys like that, they always have a soft spot for like one... Either like a little boy or a
because every
girl.
little girl on the street, they probably view as their daughter.
Yeah.
They're like, she's my daughter. I have to protect her.
Yeah, but it has to be like a very young, like even maybe even teenager, but like definitely not like once you're 20, you're a woman.
Yeah. I'm
You're
like,
a woman, and he's gonna start treating you with disrespect.
yeah, he's going to be like, so you're going to do the thing that I said to do, right? You're going to agree with me? Yeah. Okay, who else? All
right, I got one. Alan Cumming.
Approachable.
You think?
I think approachable. I think he's got to be used to it. I mean, he's got a bar in New York, and I feel like people must come up to him all the time. I feel like he'd be like, oh, hello, player. You want an autograph? Get in line.
Yeah, I feel like he would be like, get in line.
I feel like he would
you'd
say,
be kind of an asshole, but you'd be like, That's okay.
I'd be like, oh my God, Oncoming just told me to fuck off.
Yeah, he's gonna be like sassy, and then when he leaves, he's gonna be like, ta ta.
Ta ta, leave my bar. You're not dressed well enough to be here.
Okay. Next up, we're gonna do Tom Sandoval.
I would not ever approach him because disgusting and smelly. But I do think he is.
I would never talk to him because odor.
But I do think he would be approachable in the sense that like so many people hate him, so he's probably just desperate for somebody to be nice.
That was my exact answer. I feel like he would just be like, you'd be like, hey, can I get an autograph? And then he'd tell you about it his last 4 months.
He'd be like, what? That's actually so crazy because I actually have this band. You probably heard of it, Tom Sandoval and Most Extras, and yeah. I feel like if I ordered a cameo from him, it'd probably be pretty similar to the one that we got from Carl Radke.
No, I think it would be like 35 minutes long, and he would cry at some point.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like he would do the same thing that Carl did when Carl was like, I'm here, my pop-up bar. Oh, but this message is about you guys.
Yeah, she got me a cameo from Carl Radke from Summer House for my birthday, and I thought that was really sweet. Was it Christmas?
Our anniversary.
Our anniversary.
Yeah, I
asked him. Really sweet.
Asked him to do a mukbang.
Because I really like to watch that boy chew. I don't know why.
And he didn't even fucking bother to look it up. And he was like, I don't know what a mukbang is, but I hope this is a mukbang.
He is kind of the same type of guy as Tom Sandoval.
Yeah.
So I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right, who should we do next?
Gaggy, approachable.
The most approachable. Probably one of the sweetest, kindest people you could probably... Like, if you walk up to her, she'll be like, oh, my God, I think you're so handsome and tall, but right now I'm just not, like, predisposed towards your gender, so I would like this conversation to end right now, but I love you.
Yeah. I freaking love Gabby. I hope one day I have the pleasure of bumping into her or seeing her on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Because she's so good.
She's in such a great couple now. Good for her, man. Her and Robbie are perfect.
Yeah. The Bachelor made her lesbian. So let that be a warning to all women and men who try to go on there.
Real statistic, more relationships work from Big Brother than The Bachelor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Would Dylan be approachable, do you think?
I think so. I think he's probably super shy, but I feel like if you asked him for like a selfie, he'd be like, yeah. So good to meet you. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like a very quick, short interaction, but I feel like he would be so nice.
Yeah.
He's down to earth.
Nice to meet you. My brother's face doesn't look weird. He's a good guy, man.
Yeah. Don't talk about my brother. I love him.
He really did have a motorcycle accident.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not plastic
and
surgery.
no love for himself. I'm kidding. I love Zac Efron. Hey, go watch Iron Claw. That story is insane. I can't say it.
So fucked up.
I can't say it.
And honestly, just know if you do watch it, that story doesn't even show all of the fucked up stuff.
Yeah, the real story is so fucked up. They couldn't even make it into the movie because they were like, no one's gonna fucking buy that.
It's too many.
Yeah.
Fucked up things.
Too many blank. Too many beep.
Too many things happening.
Yeah, too many. It's a very sad movie. But anyway, great movie. Release date kind of snubbed Zachy Boy from contention in some of the Oscar talks. And, oh shit, what am I saying?
What?
I'm rambling.
It's okay. What other games are we going to play?
We're drafting. We're drafting, baby.
Oh, yeah, drafting criminals.
First draft of Traitors.
Woo!
So we can't really do like a traditional draft because this game works a little differently from Big Brother. We can't draft alliances. So we're going to be drafting 5 Traitors versus 5 Faithfuls.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing it from criminals.
Yeah.
So, Traitors versus Faithfuls, Criminals Edition.
Yeah.
Crime!
We love crime.
We love crime. And I would like my lady to have the honor of going first.
Oh, yeah. So nice of you, even though I've been a bitch today. For my first pick, I'm going to go with the Zodiac Killer. I think he would be a great traitor because nobody knows who he is, even though it's probably Ted Cruz. But, like, he's still out there, living. Yeah. He's got his braids, it's fine. And
he's got braids?
He went to like he went to a never mind. I don't have all the info anymore.
Okay.
I don't remember, but yeah. So I'm gonna draft
for
Ted
first
Cruz.
pick, she picks Ted.
I'm gonna draft Ted Cruz, the Zodiac killer.
Okay.
Because nobody caught him.
Yeah, and now he's a
Congressster.
Yes, a congressman.
Govern Congress Dent.
Yeah. It's a good pick.
It's my first pick.
Obvious first pick.
Yeah.
For my first pick, I'm gonna fucking blow your hair back right now. I'm gonna pick Jesus Christ.
You're right.
Don't kick the table. Because in the eyes of the Roman Empire, he was a criminal.
He literally is.
Who could be more? Oh, by the way, I'm faithful. Adouria is traitors.
Traitors.
So, I picked Jesus because who could be more faithful?
Jesus Cristo.
He'll bear the cross for all the other faithfuls. He'll be the one to say the uncomfortable truth.
Dude,
He'll deliver the message.
If Alan Cumming was like, there's one shield at play, he'd be like, false. I just multiplied it into 10. We're all safe.
So yes, exactly. Jesus
He'd
is
be a
my
good
first.
faithful.
Yeah, he's my first faithful.
That's good.
All right. And next up, I am going to go with Joseph Stalin, who is a war criminal. He's a war criminal. If you don't think he's a war criminal, then you're fucked up. He's also handsome. I'm picking Joseph Stalin because he was the most paranoid, bloodhoundy. He was killing people from his family, from his friend groups. He was trying to find traitors in his personal life.
Yeah, true.
So he would be a perfect faithful.
That's a good pick. For my next pick, I'm going to go with Che Guevara. Actually a very fucked up man, but so many people have him on their magnets on their fridge. And so I think that's why he would be a good traitor, because people would be like, no, he stood for like freedom and stuff, when in actuality he started some really fucked up camps and tried to kill people. He's a bad man. That's what I learned in English class. But
Is he a criminal?
yeah.
Are we calling him a criminal? I don't know. I actually don't know enough about Che Guevara.
I just read about him in English class, and like he wrote a letter to his dad, and he was like, I love the feeling of killing people. But like,
Oh, then he would be a perfect traitor.
yeah, but like nobody, I just feel like too many people have him on their shirts and like on their magnets, and they're like, he represents freedom, like blah blah blah, blah. We love
I
his
definitely saw a
politics.
couple Che Guevara posters in my Santa Cruz days.
Yeah.
And those misguided young people are now senators and congressmen and making policy in this country.
Yeah, that's why I think he would be a good traitor, because people are like, no, he represents freedom, we have to keep
Yeah.
him, but like really he wants to kill.
His only real contribution was he took a sick-ass photo that everyone uses.
Yeah, that looks
He
good.
wore a beret real well.
Yeah, yeah. And for my next pick, for my third pick, I'm going to go with Charles Manson, because he could convince people to literally do whatever he wanted, including
Fun
murder
fact,
people.
Charles Manson never killed anybody.
Yeah,
He's never actually committed a murder,
yeah,
believe it or not. So yeah, that's a great pick.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Did
No,
you have
no.
something else to say?
No, that was it.
I don't remember who I was going to pick next. Okay, I got one. Mm-hmm. And I know it's not a good pick, but I just want to say it. I'm going to pick Michael Jackson because he was a smooth criminal.
Is that your real pick?
Yeah.
Or did you just do that pick so you could say that joke?
Yeah, I literally just said it's not a good pick, but I want to say the joke.
I like that.
And is that my final pick? No, I have one more.
That's your third pick.
Oh, that's my third pick? Okay, I got one, two more. And then for my fourth pick, I am going to pick... This is kind of a toughie. I'm going to pick Donald Trump.
Yeah, because that man could get away with anything.
Yeah, people just don't take him seriously. I feel like he's such a bad guy that people are just going to, like, when he's being suspicious, people are just going to be like, no, he's just a dick.
You're a traitor. You're a traitor. You're
My
all
opponent's a
traitors.
traitor, and he's gay.
Yeah,
No,
he
I can't
would.
say that.
He would.
That's Shane's joke.
He would cause such chaos at the round table. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He would be like, I feel like he would play a game similar to Kate. Sorry to compare Kate to Donald Trump,
How
but
fucking dare you?
they would just make themselves such a big target that people were just like, it can't possibly, like, we can't keep wasting votes on this bitch.
Yeah. Well, America wasted all their votes on him, so probably the round table would do the same thing. Anyways, for
She is literally the fucking burning house dog meme right now.
everything's fine. It's all fine. Fuck, I had one and now I forgot.
This is your final pick, yeah?
No, I have two more.
Okay.
Fourth and fifth. For my fourth pick, I'm gonna go for. Oh, okay. For my fourth pick, I'm gonna go with the Night Stalker because everyone thought he was sexy, so I think he could get away with a lot.
Yeah, you think his sex appeal would like cover him up?
Yeah, they'd be like, it's too obvious that he would be the traitor. He's just so hot.
No, he's not a traitor. He's just misguided.
He's just sexy.
I can fix him. I can fix him. I can fix his teeth.
Yeah.
His fucked up teeth.
For my fifth and final pick, this might be a bad pick, but had to go with the GOAT, O.J. Simpson.
Technically not a criminal.
No, but he did go to jail for stealing
Tax
stuff.
evasion.
No, he for something.
He stole the Heisman Trophy? I don't remember.
I don't know what happened. He stole something.
Yeah.
He stole something or he beat up somebody. R.I.P. O.J. Simpson.
Why would he be a good traitor? Because he got away with murder?
If it does not fit, you must acquit. He'd be like, there's no way. I could have done this because I can't even fit through the door. I don't know. I just think he could fucking, I don't know. I think he may surprise us.
Fine. Good. Okay, so I got one pick left, right?
Yeah.
For my last pick, I'm going to actually pick a criminal. I'm going to pick John Wayne Gacy.
Nice.
Because he was a serial killer hiding in plain sight. How could it get more traitory than that? He was going to hospitals dressed as the thing that he dresses as to kill people in.
He was literally like involved in small town politics.
He was an alderman, dude. This is how fucked up Boston is. They were like, this man who likes to dress up as a clown, we want him making policy.
My last pick should have been Luigi Mangiaji.
Joe Manganiello? No, he is a criminal for how bad he is at hosting.
Luigi Magaguaga.
Fuck you, Joe Manganiello. All right, that's been the episode.